What's up, everybody? This is Impact Wrestling superstar, All Ego Ethan Page, and you are inside the Wrestling Epicenter.
You're listening to Interactive Wrestling Radio, featuring the interactive interview, courtesy of WrestlingEpicenter.com.
This is Matt Seidel. Open your third eye for the Wrestling Epicenter.
Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio. On the Newsmaker line with me right now is an Impact Wrestling superstar who will be taking part in a death-defying match at Homecoming. He is Ethan Page. Mr. Page, are you with me?
I'm here, and I'm ready to defy death.
Well, I hope so. And of course, I'm speaking of Ultimate X, which started actually in the venue that you're going to be competing at. It's been 15 years, maybe even 16 years since Don Callis came up with the idea behind Ultimate X. Thoughts heading into this rather acrobatic kind of affair?
Yes. Will the cables support my weight?
That's actually my next question. Is the fact that you're larger than some of the guys... No, not exactly that. Is the fact that you're one of the larger guys in the match, is that going to be a benefit or a negative in terms of this match?
Realistically, probably a negative. I will try and use it as a benefit. Like, it'll probably be very easy for me to reach up and grab an ankle and pull a guy down off of the cables, being tall and strong. But it won't help me when I am dangling from the cables trying to get across. I am trying to come up with some kind of game plan. I could do lots of chin-ups, but I don't know if I can, monkey swing across a vine to get to the championship. But, I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's on live pay-per-view. So,
well, you sound like you're a little bit questioning how that's going to all work out for you. Is this something that you're actually concerned about heading into it just 3 days away?
Of course. I've been walking on 2 feet for 29 years. Now, all of a sudden, I need to not walk to the championship or climb a ladder or jump off the top rope. I need to use my hands and support 260 pounds while I ascend a cable and try and climb across like a freaking superhero and grab a championship. Yeah, it's good. I don't know. I don't know how I got myself into this, but I want to walk out with a championship, so I'm going to do my best.
Absolutely. Well, we were on that press conference you did with Jordan Grace just a few weeks ago, and one thing that really shines away when we talk to you, and has already shown in our conversation in the past just couple moments, is that you have a heck of a big personality. And it's kind of strange because you're the secondary person in the two things you've done so far with Impact, being the second to the cousin of Joseph Park and the understudy of Matt Seidel. Do you find it is cramping your style a bit, or are you just taking this as a heck of a learning experience, being under these great veterans?
Hey, I don't write the show. I'm just waiting for people to open their eyes and see what they have in front of them, and then we'll see who plays second fiddle by the end of 2019.
All right. Well, speaking of Matt Seidel, you guys had a great match on Impact recently. That's actually how you did get into this mess, by qualifying, by defeating Matt Seidel. Thoughts on that match, and what have you taken away from working with Matt Seidel, both in front of and behind the camera?
That match was a big victory for me personally in 2018, just because the way the year kind of started with the Chandler Park stuff and what we've got now at the end of last year with Ethan Page on Impact, and a big win going into a pay-per-view against a big-name star like Matt. So it was big, and we had 2 segments to have the best match possible, and I think that we both delivered. And, yeah, I don't know. It was just it was a good way to end the year for me and to kind of show what I have going into the next year. And it's been great working with Matt. He's got a lot of experience, and again, he's a big-name star. He's done a lot in wrestling, so for me to be able to attach myself to him coming into Impact is great. But like you said, I'm kind of his understudy, and I've got a big personality, or some say ego, so I don't know how long I'll be able to be second best.
All ego, some say, right? All ego.
I mean, I'm sure I've got other stuff going on, but if we're going to just label me one thing, it would be all ego.
There you go. All right. So there's a historian involved in me. I'm a big fan of Impact Wrestling's lineage. I was one of the guys who quit watching wrestling when we lost WCW and ECW. And then when Impact came about as NWA TNA, they did their shows from the Asylum. So there's a nostalgia effect that goes into Sunday's pay-per-view because it's going to have some familiar surroundings. It's going to be at the Asylum. As a performer of the new generation of Impact Wrestling, what does it mean to perform in the company's roots?
Oh, it's amazing. And like, I'm just like you. I was a big fan of Impact. I might be a little younger because I never really got into WCW or ECW. So Impact for me was like my first real alternative to WWE. So like, I watched the weekly pay-per-views. I was with them when they got their big deal on Spike TV. Like I was a big fan, and now getting to go back to where it started in one of, if not the most famous match that Impact has ever created, the Ultimate X, getting to be a part of that, knowing the size of my frame and the style of wrestler I am, I never honestly assumed that I would ever be put in a position to have this type or style of match. So for me, the fan inside of me is more excited than the wrestler.
And yeah, I am a little older than you. I got about 8 years on you. So
Okay, well, there you go. That makes a lot of sense.
That adds up, doesn't it? All right, so speaking of new generations, we're about to embark on a new era here at Impact Wrestling with a new television provider, a new television network with Pursuit. You're leaving Pop TV, you're heading to Pursuit. As a performer, what does that mean to you, and what is your expectations for Impact on Pursuit?
As a performer, not much. I have the same job no matter what station we're on or channel we're on, and realistically, like, Impact is a global company, so technically the TV channel changing only really affects the United States. Anywhere else in the world, I believe, gets Impact directly after it airs on the GWN network, so they can watch it the same night on an app anywhere but in America. And then in Canada, we've got Game TV and the Fight Network airing it, so not really much of a change there too. So show up, lace up my boots, and wrestle is what I'm going to do no matter where we are.
Very cool. So you mentioned Canada. I'm a big fan of one of your bands. I'm not going to talk about the band because nobody cares, but they used a word that kind of stuck in my head. It's called palatable. And what I mean by that is during your teleconference, you kind of said that you don't even look at intergender wrestling as intergender wrestling. You just think of it as another match. Do you think that the masses, the mainstream audience, would find intergender wrestling, here's the magic word, palatable?
Yes, if done correctly.
Okay, so you think that there's contingencies involved in that?
Well, yeah, for sure. There is contingencies with male versus male wrestling. If a guy weighs 80 pounds and the other guy weighs 300 pounds, I don't really think that he should miraculously be lifting up a 300-pound man unless he can physically do it, like, on the street. So that's going to play into effect when a female is 1/3 the size of a male as well. But if we're going to make this as realistic as possible, sure, by all means. Or then again, you have like a power lifter like Jordan Grace. Yeah, she's going to be able to suplex me. there's nothing I can physically do to stop her from that in real life. So I don't understand why she couldn't do it in the ring. It just makes sense. And I think once you will get over the fact that I think most have of one person being a female and one being a male, and then just look at them as athletes, then yeah, like, you're going to tell me that a female can't beat a male in a one-on-one basketball game? If you're better, you're better. And that's just the way it's going to be in wrestling, I hope, eventually.
Very cool. Very cool. So parity is involved. I like that. All right. So here we go. You didn't really answer the question during the conference call. I'm not the one who asked it, but I kind of enjoyed your answer to it. You didn't really want to talk about 2019 because 2018 was still happening. Here we are now in 2019. You got a big match this Sunday. But looking past this match, what are you hoping to accomplish in Impact Wrestling in 2019?
Well, I was a bit butthurt that when they announced the channel change to Pursuit, they put out this beautiful graphic with the entire roster, literally everyone but me. So
Oh.
I'm a little bothered by that, and I feel like I refuse to be an afterthought or somebody that's forgotten. I have too much talent and skill to be, like you said earlier, an understudy or second place. So by the end of the year, I would like to be one of the faces of the company, never forgotten, always promoted. That's my goal. That's honestly, that's my goal anywhere new that I go, is to eventually take it over. And if you follow my career, you'll be able to see that I've pretty much done that. Any company I've gone to, I've either become the main eventer, won the championship, gotten all of my friends booked there. So I'm hoping eventually I can do that on a big stage like Impact.
Very cool, very cool. So we recently had on Madison Rain, and we were promoting a match she was having at a Ring of Honor show where she was facing multiple opponents, and what we did was a word association on each one. And I told her the same thing I'll tell you. It doesn't have to be a one-word answer, but if you have any thoughts, or even if it is just a one-word answer, on the 3 opponents you're going to be facing at Homecoming, let's see what you got. So first name on that list would be Rich Swann.
You can dance to the ring, but I promise you will not be dancing to the back.
All right. How about kind of the dark horse of the match, Trey?
I don't know him that well, and I'm not excited to get to know him. But he's also the smallest person in the match, so I will enjoy brutalizing Trey, and I'm praying that the rest of the Rascals stay in the back.
Very cool. And the final person on that list is, of course, Jake Christ.
Jake Christ's Twitter is the mini draw, which, I mean, if you're going to tell me that I'm playing second fiddle to Matt Sydal, Jake is admittedly playing second fiddle or third fiddle to OVE, calling himself a mini version of Sami Callihan. So I've beaten Sami Callihan in a wrestling ring before, so I'm pretty sure I can beat the smaller mini version of Sami Callihan in this match.
I get the feeling I touched a nerve with you when I mentioned being an understudy to Matt Sydal. Did I tick you off with that one?
Yeah, you're literally bruising my ego, which is not something that I like. Yeah, I mean, you can literally say or do anything else, but tell me I am an understudy. I'm a leading man. I'm a leading man. I don't know if you know that or not, but
absolutely. And like I said, anybody who, when you get the opportunity to show your personality, and I do follow what you do outside of Impact Wrestling, but anybody who gets the opportunity to see you talk and see your persona, there's a lot more there than we've gotten to see thus far at Impact Wrestling.
And I think with time you'll be able to see it, and I think that's my greatest hope for 2019 is no, I'm not saying that I'm leashed or I'm wearing handcuffs or anything like that, but you're only granted so much time and opportunity to really show what you have, and I'm hoping I get more and more time and more opportunity this year to really grow into what I have been able to do on the independents.
Absolutely, and Sunday should be a good start for you. Definitely outside your comfort zone, should be a great match. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and of course the ensuing TV tapings that fell out the rest of the month. So I want to thank you for joining us, and before you sign off, is there any final thoughts heading into Sunday night's big pay-per-view?
Yeah, 2019 is the year that the most unlikely winner becomes the X Division champion.
Awesome. All right. Hey, before I let you go, one last favor. Do you mind if I ask for a station ID, just saying this is Ethan Page and you're in the Wrestling Epicenter?
Yeah, sure.
All right. You want me to do the whole Wayne's World countdown thing? There's me being older again, by the way.
Sure, if you want.
All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, everybody? This is Impact Wrestling superstar, all ego Ethan Page, and you are inside the Wrestling Epicenter.
This is the Wrestling Epicenter. For over 15 years, we've brought you the top names in professional wrestling for exclusive interviews. Everybody you see here has been interviewed by our site. But we're more than just interviews. So be sure and check out WrestlingEpicenter.com for news, results, information, and of course our store. WrestlingEpicenter.com, your #1 source for wrestling information.